Garden friends. I am here to go through our Garden Science Kit number 6 activities with you. So I have my Garden Science Kit, which is, in this case, we just have some paper stapled together. Unlike some of our past kits, this one's just paper. But some things you might want to get together before you start this activity. You're going to probably want a pencil or two with a good eraser. You'll need a glue stick. You'll want your science notebook. There's mine. And then you'll want something, whatever you prefer to do coloring with. So I have colored pencils because that's what I like, but you're welcome to use crayons or markers or whatever you prefer. Okay, so in our Garden Science Kit number 6, we have the instructions for our activity. So I have a little bit about the background, and then I have the activity. You can actually do this activity without having to watch the videos. If that works for you, don't feel obligated to have to do the video with me. So we're learning about this traditional story from the Ohlone people called How a Hummingbird Got Fire. And you have a hard copy of the story here, so you can read it to yourself, but also there is a recording of the story by an elder of the Ohlone tribe. So I really recommend you listen to that read aloud because he has a really beautiful voice and he is outside in nature at a location that is very special to his people. So please be sure and listen to that video. It's really a great telling of the story. And then, let's see, what do we have? Then the next thing you have is you have this cool diagram. So this is the 4th grade version. I think the TK through 1st grade might only have about 7 items to label. And then the 2nd through 5th graders have this longer list of parts to label on our diagram. So I'm going to do that part now, and then we'll get back to the other component of the activity that has more to do with our story. So let me move my notebook. And remember the reason we have a glue stick is that you can take this diagram, and after you've labeled it and colored it, you can glue it into your notebook. So I'm going to take my pencil, and I see I have a word bank over here on the left side. And I have all these little, I guess they're technically not arrows, right? They're just lines pointing to the different parts of my hummingbird. Now, some of them you're probably going to be able to figure out pretty easily. Like this is definitely my hummingbird's tail, right? So down here, I'm going to label this the tail. And this is definitely my hummingbird's foot. Now, it might be helpful as you go along to put a little check mark by the words that you use as you use them. Let's see. This is the hummingbird's bill. It's also called a beak. There we go. And then this little part right here, it's a little hard to see in our drawing, but if you look at pictures of hummingbirds, this is called the culmen. C-U-L-M-E-N, and it's kind of a hard ridge that's on top of their bill. And then here's the top of the hummingbird's head is called the crown. Let's see. So the main flight feathers out here, these are called the primary feathers. I see that my hand is shaking the camera, so I apologize if my video is a little bit wobbly there as I write. I see my camera moving. And then these feathers that are closer into the bird's body, these are called the secondary feathers. Let's see, here's his chin right there, of course, just like we have a chin, right? And then birds have something called or not, maybe not all birds, but hummingbirds in particular have an area called the gorget. Now it looks like the word is gorget, right? Gorget, because there's a T on the end, but we actually don't pronounce that ET because the word is from the French language, and in French, when you have an ET, it makes the A sound. So we say this word gorget. Let's see, and here is his chest. Oops, I forgot to check off my things. I guess I kind of went down the list though there, so that's okay. Okay, so I haven't labeled his back and his rump. So here's his back and his rump. The rump is the part below the back and right above the tail. There we go. So I've done my labeling and now I'm ready to do some coloring. If you want to ask your adult if they can look up some pictures, if you want to color your hummingbird to be kind of accurate looking to a particular type of hummingbird, you're welcome to do that. Or you can just kind of use your imagination and color your hummingbird however you would like to color it. That's fine too. I'm really excited about, I did videos today at school in the habitat garden, and some of our sages are blooming, and they have these really nice red tubular flowers, which are the kind that I know really attract hummingbirds. So I'm hoping maybe soon we will get some more hummingbirds hanging out near the habitat garden, and I can catch them on video for you. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna finish coloring this on my own off camera, and I want to show you the other part of our activity. So let me get my instructions back out. And the other part of our activity, so the story that we get to hear about Hummingbird Got Fire is a traditional tale, and it explains how the hummingbird stole fire for the other animals. And the idea is that because of the way the hummingbird held the fire to carry it back is why many hummingbirds have a red gorget, right? A lot of hummingbirds have this red neck, or sometimes even their whole head is red. But this traditional story explains why the hummingbird has a red neck. And so our activity that we're going to do kind of in the theme of this very special traditional story is that we're going to think of our own story that explains something in nature. So you can do this by writing a story if you want to write out a story, you know, a page or so. Or if you prefer to do like comic strips, you can tell a story in a comic strip. You could just draw a picture and depict it that way, or even paint a picture if you're really feeling adventurous and want to get really artistic. But the idea is to just think about the plants and the animals around you and sort of take a little bit of time to do a brainstorm. So I'm going to open up my science notebook here. And I'm going to come to a new page. I'm going to write today's date. And I'm going to think about what plants and animals are near me. I zoomed in there. Ooh, sorry. I'm moving my camera. That's kind of funny. What plants and animals are near me that I might think about writing a story about? So I have, let's see. I think I'm going to brainstorm this way. I'm going to do the little bubble, the bubble method, where I write plants here. And I'm going to do, maybe I better zoom back out. I don't know. Let's see. Well, maybe I'll just start with plants. Okay, so in my yard, I have sunflowers. And I have, let's see, I have pumpkins. I have borage. Remember, we have borage at school too. I have basil. I wonder what kinds of ideas I can think of. Let's see, sunflowers are yellow. I wonder why sunflowers are yellow and pumpkins are orange. So the reason I'm thinking about, oops, I wrote sun here when I meant to write yellow. The reason I'm thinking about what colors they are is that's sort of one of the components of that special story about the hummingbird is one of the aspects of the story is that they're explaining why his neck is red, his gorget is red. So I was thinking maybe I should consider the colors of the plants around me, and maybe I can creatively think about why are some of these plants the color they are. So the sunflowers, not all sunflowers are yellow, but the ones by me are yellow. So I wonder if I can think of an idea behind why are the sunflowers yellow? Maybe it's because they soak up sunshine. I wonder what I could do with that idea. Borage. The flowers are purple, but the plant's green. I wonder about the shape of things too. So remember, with a brainstorm, you're just sort of taking all the ideas that come into your head and you're writing them down. I had this visual image earlier I want to share with you because I thought it was kind of cute. I'm going to make a cloud. Think about what does it do when it storms, right? It rains. So I'm going to write animals in my cloud. And I'm going to write the names of my animals in a raindrop. Let's see. So I have cats around me. I got to make bigger raindrops. We have raccoons that visit our backyard. We have crows. Isn't this cute? So this is my brainstorm for my animals that are around me that I could, let's see, we have possums. Am I off the screen? Hold on, there we go. I have possums. I have owls. I wonder if I could think of some sort of story that I could write about any of these animals. Let's see. Raccoons have kind of a mask on their face. They have a mask and they have stripes. I wonder if I could think of an idea that explains why they wear a mask. Crows, I think, usually have kind of a shiny black beak, right? Their beak is shiny and black. I wonder if I could think of ideas to go with that. So your first step of this project is going to be to make these brainstorm ideas. If you prefer to just work with animals, that's fine, or you can work with plants. Just come up with all of the ideas you can think of and write them down. And then maybe take a few minutes to step away from your project and come back to it. Maybe go have lunch and then come back and look at your ideas again. And usually a little bit of time lets ideas sort of float around in your mind and sort of build on each other and come up with more ideas. So when you come back to it, you might have some new thoughts as to what could go with cats or what could go with owls and what kind of story you want to create. And when I say story, I know that kind of means it sounds like it means you've got to write something. If you love writing, I'd love for you to write something. You could write a poem, You could write a short story. But also, you can interpret that as however you want to tell it. So if you want to tell me a story, maybe you can, one of your adults can write, you can tell them verbally your story, they can write it down and you can practice it and make a video of your story. That's fine. Or if you want to make, like I said, a comic or a poster or a painting about whatever story, and then you can tell us what that picture is giving the story. So remember, it doesn't have to be a whole handwritten big story. But yeah, think of all of these things in nature that you could explain, and then put together a creative idea, and share it with your class. And please share it with me on my Google form, because I'm super excited to hear what you thought about the hummingbird got fire story, and then what kind of ideas you come up with. I would love to see pictures of your brainstorms, whether they look like a storm cloud and raindrops, or if you do the circle way, or I'm sure your teachers have probably thought of different ways to teach you how to do like mind maps and stuff like that. So whatever tools you're used to working with, that'll be great. Let's see. So there's our story activity. Remember, when you're done with your diagram, you can use your glue stick and you just glue right along the edge, and you take your diagram and glue it right into the page. To stay with your science notebook, you can kind of fold it over so it fits and doesn't hang out. Just like that. Okay, and have your science notebook ready for next week. All right, friends, I hope you enjoy learning about the hummingbird. There's also a song. In addition to the read aloud, I found a really fun song that will help you hear what the hummingbird sounds like. And maybe after you listen to that song, you can take some time to go outside near where you live and see if you hear any hummingbirds. They have this very specific sort of real high-pitched chirpy sound that they make. It's a very particular, and it doesn't really sound like any other birds around us. So if you hear it, you've got to like stop and look around, because remember, hummingbirds are small and they're fast. So sometimes it can be hard to see them. You'll hear them before you'll see them. So I'm really excited to hear about what you come up with, what your ideas are. Okay? Have a great time with this, garden friends, and I will talk to you again soon.